Welcome to Keto Meals and Recipes.com. 2 years ago, I posted my sugar-free orange cranberry recipe, shown here, which is one of our favorite versions of cranberry sauce. And that's because the taste is amazing and goes very well with both turkey and ham. And this recipe is also very useful because you can use the orange cranberry sauce as an ingredient to make several other desserts, like my Nantucket pie or my yogurt cranberry pie. Both are amazing, really tasty, and nice to have on hand when friends or family drop by, especially during the holidays. Because I really enjoy making new and interesting recipes, today I'm going to show you how to make my new Rosemary Cranberry Sauce. This is a perfect condiment that is sugar-free, gluten-free, and can be part of any keto low-carb. The difference between this rosemary cranberry sauce and my previous sugar-free orange cranberry sauce is that this version has a more savory and herbal side, but the taste is very mild, which allows the cranberries to really come through. And I like to make this version of a cranberry sauce when I'm serving a turkey that has a simpler seasoning base. I also use this version of the cranberry sauce when I'm making my chicken with cranberry balsamic sauce recipe. And as I mentioned with my other cranberry sauce, this version is not strictly keto because of the ratios. This is a condiment that you serve as part of an entire meal plan. Now for the macro information. This rosemary cranberry sauce has a micronutrient ratio of approximately 0.01 to 1, with 3.6 grams of total carbs, 1.1 gram of dietary fiber, resulting in 2.5 grams of net carbs per 2 tablespoons serving. Here, I have assembled all 4 of the ingredients you will need to make this recipe. To prep, first, remove the rosemary leaves from the thick woody stems. Then gather up the leaves and chop them into very small pieces. I love using fresh herbs because they smell so nice both when you're chopping them up and when you're cooking. Next, cut 1 or 2 thin strips of your lemon rind and set it aside. Then either using a microplane or using the second smallest holes on your box grater, grate and zest your lemon. And then just cut your lemon in half and squeeze out the juice. Because I don't want to overcook the sauce and lose my vitamin and other nutrients from the cranberries, I also grind my sweetener to a fine confectioner powder. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flavor this sweetener. Pour the sweetener into a medium-sized mixing bowl. Sprinkle your chopped rosemary pieces on top of the sweetener and also add the lemon zest. The best thing I found to use was a potato masher and stir and grind down into the bowl. This will release the natural oils and juices from your rind and your rosemary. Continue doing this for about 1 minute. Then when you notice that your sweetener smells like lemon and rosemary, set this bowl aside for a moment. The next thing you have to do is get your small saucepan, add the water and the lemon juice, and then add your cranberries. You can either use fresh or frozen, whichever you have on hand. Add your seasoned sweetener. Now it's time to cook, so place your pot on your stovetop, which is set to medium heat, and stir to combine. Bring the water in the pot to a light boil. If your water is boiling very briskly, reduce the heat a little bit. And then continue cooking until you see that all the cranberries have popped open. When you've noticed that all your cranberries have popped, use your potato masher to grind the berries as you continue cooking. At this point, reduce the heat to medium-low and continue cooking and stirring and grinding for about 10 more minutes. This will reduce the water and create a really nice thick sauce. Before removing the pot, taste for sweetness. I like mine quite savory, but you may like a little bit more sweetener in this. So adjust to your taste. But be very careful, the sauce is very hot. And if you want a less savory sauce, a little bit sweeter, just add 1 or 2 tablespoons of sweetener. No more, because it'll become too sweet and it won't balance well with the herb and lemon zest. Then stir for 1 or 2 more minutes if you've added more sugar. Turn off your heat and remove the pan from the heat. Then again, use your potato masher or a spatula to crush the cranberries and create a coarse sauce. The difference between this sauce and my previous sauce is that you do actually have to strain this sauce to remove the sharp rosemary pieces. And this is very simple. Just get a large bowl, place a fine mesh sieve on top, Pour your cooked sauce into the sieve, and then again, using either your potato masher or a silicone spatula, press and grind into the sieve until you have removed as much of the sauce as possible, and all that is left in the sieve is the outer skin of the cranberries. Another reason that you do this, besides wanting to remove the rosemary leaves, the second reason for passing it through the sieve is this step will create a smooth cranberry sauce or jelly-like texture. This step takes a few minutes, but be patient and press as much of the cranberry sauce through the sieve as you can. You want to savor all that wonderful goodness. And when you're done, just discard the residue in the sieve. As you can see, this is a really nice velvety texture. Although we've cooked it with fresh rosemary, this sauce has a mild lemon rosemary aroma and taste. And it has this wonderful fresh, clean smell. You can make this rosemary cranberry sauce well ahead of time and store it in the fridge for several days. Alternatively, this sauce can be frozen and stored in your freezer in a freezer-safe container for several months. And when I'm ready to serve this rosemary cranberry sauce and place it on my holiday table, I like to garnish it. I do this by garnishing with a thin strip of lemon rind I twisted into a spiral and a small sprig of fresh rosemary. And if I still have some on hand, a few raw cranberries. To me, this looks really nice and festive. Something I'm very proud to serve. I hope that this new recipe for rosemary cranberry sauce is an option that you may enjoy with your holiday turkey or ham. As always, the link for this formatted, printable, and translatable written recipe is in the description box, as well as the links for the cranberry sauce, the Nantucket pie, and the yogurt cranberry dessert. So please go down there to check them out. I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and if you like this recipe, please give it a like, leave me a comment, or ask me a question. And if you're new or have not done so before, I would be honored if you would subscribe. Most importantly, please come back when I post my next video and check the new recipe I have created for you. In the meanwhile, have a very happy and healthy day. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.